To the valley of the sun they came, rays of sun brightening their future.
An awful lot of enthusiastic, great people have come together and are so pleased to be here.
Humanitarians from around the globe congregated with a vision for the future, ready for mission, equipped for service. On March 23rd through 27th, more than 600 delegates gathered in Phoenix, Arizona for the 2012 Salvation Army National Social Services and Disaster Management Conference.
They're coming from all 4 territories in the United States, which is East, South, Central, and West, and also from Canada. And we have 1 observer coming from international headquarters in London. We have presenters in suicide prevention that have come from Australia. We have 2 folk that have come up from the Caribbean territory where they're doing a lot of social services there. 2 that have come up from Mexico who are working particularly in anti-trafficking issues. And 1 gentleman who's come from our work in Haiti. So we have an international flavor.
Planning Committee and Salvation Army staff from the 5 North American territories, Emergency Disaster Services leadership, and national headquarters worked diligently preparing a conference designed to develop professional and social relationships, educate through workshops and inspirational speakers, and refine skills and deepen commitment for the life-changing work in which the Salvation Army is engaged.
The mission of the Salvation Army is always to preach Jesus Christ and His saving gospel, but also to address human needs without any consideration of where people are in terms of their spiritual life or their physical life or their backgrounds or anything of that sort. So service is done for the sake of service because we believe this is what the Lord wants us to do.
In effort to build enthusiasm and a sense of community, this year's conference infused social services and disaster management for the first time to give attendees the full scope of the services offered by the Salvation Army.
When we think of the disaster, let's say, cycle, you have preparedness, you have response, and you have recovery. So this conference provides for preparedness. When there is a disaster, we respond with our mobile kitchens and with volunteers to assist the immediate emergency response. But we recognize that a number of families or a number of individuals will need to have long-term recovery. And that's where our social services comes alongside. So as we care for families, as we care for individuals, it really is a seamless garment of compassion from preparedness through response to recovery. And that's the arms of the Salvation Army reaching out and embracing communities.
We're trying to raise the level of understanding and knowledge of programs and processes. We're taking a good look at some of the best practice models in many different areas, whether it has to be with direct service or with training or with particular issues like sexual trafficking or addictions or emergency disaster and the aftercare. The most important thing is the networking of all of our teams, from our volunteers, employees, soldiers, and officers, to get to know each other and to share the best of what we have.
Successful humanitarian organizations like the Salvation Army also know the importance of fostering partnerships with businesses who provide them support day and night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As a supplement to this year's conference, attendees had the opportunity to connect with businesses firsthand to develop and grow those personal relationships.
The vendors that we have here are folks that work with us both directly in disaster services and in social services. The products that they provide we use in the field during our work out there, so it gives us a place to go to order, and if we develop that personal relationship or somebody to talk to, it makes it a lot easier just to phone at night when you're out in a disaster to call one of the vendors and say we need, and you know it's on the way.
For many business supporters, working with the Salvation Army is more than budgets and bottom lines. Emergency Mobile Kitchens, or EMK, is one such organization.
It just seemed like a perfect fit after we started EMK to pursue the Salvation Army and try to help them, since they're our charity of choice. Emergency Mobile Kitchens creates the newest food trucks and mobile kitchens, mobile bathrooms, mobile shower units, mobile laundry units, mobile sleeping units, bunkhouses in the industry. We have a rental division, so we rent, loan, and lease equipment to the Salvation Army when they need it, as well as design and manufacture new equipment for them. And we sell it to them at preferential pricing because it's for the Salvation Army.
Close to a year ago now, our director here in Phoenix made a contact with Emergency Mobile Kitchens, EMK, to look at possibly refurbishing one of their old canteen units, one of their mobile kitchens. And he was very impressed with the work that they did, and so he called me and I came down and met with them and looked at some of their stuff, brought in the schematics and plans that we use as a standardization for the mobile kitchens that we use throughout the United States, and had them take a look at that and see what we could build on using those schematics. And from there, our relationship really developed to the point now where we're having a lot of our units from the Western Territory refurbished by EMK. They've built 3 brand new units for us, full service mobile kitchens. We're in contract for a 50-foot field kitchen that'll serve about 25,000 meals at a time. So the relationship has really grown in a year, and we find EMK is very supportive of Salvation Army, what we do, and we're trying to very much support them. And as far as the conference goes, they're one of our major supporters in the conference, one of our major sponsors.
The trailers designed and built by EMK are made in the USA and manufactured in Phoenix, Arizona. Every trailer is built to each client's specifications and can be sent anywhere in the United States and even globally. These durable and sophisticated mobile trailers are built for easy transport, high use, and even extreme weather. EMK has sent mobile units to Haiti, the Arctic Circle, desert environments, and both metro and rural settings.
We have our 6x12 lunchbox trailer, which we're giving away here at the show. We've got a 16-foot canteen that we built for the Salvation Army College. We've got a 30-foot laundry shower unit, a before and after display to represent the remodeling of older equipment. And then we have a trailer that's caged up to show you what the bare bones of one of our trailers looks like. We also just recently built this 16-foot canteen for the San Francisco division that the FedEx company sponsored, and we're here to dedicate that as well.
I'm super impressed. FedEx have stepped up and they've looked at the world of disaster and realized that there's a real correlation between the services they provide and that people need to be helped and served in a disaster, and they've partnered with the Salvation Army. Couldn't be better. This truck has been provided financially by them, and we're very excited to have them as a partner.
The new trucks, like the FedEx truck that they just built for us, or the college truck that we have out at our college, those units will deliver in the neighborhood of 1,500 meals twice without having to stop and resupply.
In order to produce highly efficient trailers, EMK teams up with partners that appreciate the value of integrating quality equipment that will help field workers do their jobs quickly and cost-effectively.
We've been working with EMK for about 2 years now. We came on board and developed a very good partnership, I feel. Our strength has been being able to react to the opportunities that have come up. I learned very early that the first word, emergency, is the key for everything that happens at EMK. It has to be done now, very quickly. We've pulled a lot of rabbits out of the hat to get things on time, in place, to meet the disaster that had to be dealt with quickly. And it's not normal for our industry to do that, but we've had a great relationship with them, and we communicate very well and do the best we can to make the customer as happy as possible.
This is a phenomenal truck. I've had a look around it, and we will be able to use this in so many different ways during a disaster, but also in very practical ways in San Francisco on a daily basis.
We're going to take a minute and talk about the kitchen equipment that's in this particular Salvation Army truck. We chose this type of equipment for the heavy-duty application that's required. It features very high BTU burners, which to the operator means a very fast recovery. If you have a line of people standing out there, you want something that is going to recover fast and be able to produce a lot of food quickly. The 4 burners are easy to keep clean, easy to maintain. And then we also use commercial holding cabinets that will hold a variety of different types of trays and foods. This particular one will keep it hot and keep it moist at the same time, so you can get to a site, start prepping, start holding, and then start serving.
Often in the Salvation Army you work with the equipment that you have, whether it's good or bad, and having something that's brand new and something that is just top of the line is huge for us, and it just means that the day-to-day stuff is so much easier to do with quality equipment, and that's a big deal, and we don't always get that, and when we do that, we really want to be able to use it and appreciate that. When you see the Salvation Army shield, it says that there's friendship, that there's comfort, and there's something good, especially on taco nights. There's something good coming out of that thing. So it really is a good outreach. It's a good thing to be able to have a vehicle like this that people can see. It's very visible.
With any nonprofit organization, new equipment isn't always an option. Updating and reusing existing equipment is another alternative that still helps the Salvation Army reach their goals in doing the most good.
It's a lot cheaper to retrofit and remodel the older stuff than it is to buy new stuff.
The ones that we're having retrofitted, it puts new life into an old truck. You know, a new canteen costs us around $130,000. So if we can put $40,000 into a retrofit and get another 10 years out of that truck, then it's a good deal for us.
Finding the right equipment and building relationships with vendors is crucial to helping team members reach their goals effectively every day. Organizers hope that by bridging the gap between the Salvation Army and its community supporters, staff and volunteers will find solutions to their specific challenges around the world.
Awareness of each other's abilities is a big thing. Awareness of the equipment that's available. We have folks that are still delivering disaster relief out of minivans. And if they can look and see what more they can do and the better equipped they can be to better serve the community, then we reach a major goal there.
Although the mission of the Salvation Army hasn't changed for more than a century, the needs of humanity have.
The individual who's walking through our front door has changed. We often picture the homeless as a middle-aged man with a brown paper bag, but the average age of homelessness in America is 9. Faces are changing. We sometimes call them the new poor. Due to the recession, due to a loss of job or underemployment, they come to the Salvation Army not looking for a handout, but they're looking for assistance and belief and hope. And that's what we bring. We bring hope to this situation.
As need changes, so do solutions.
One of the newest areas that we're getting into and real heavily is the critical incident stress management. So we're doing out and dealing with folks. We're running our people through special training to become disaster counselors. And as they go out, they're able to talk with disaster survivors and help them through the grief process or through the why am I feeling bad process and get past that and then get them on to more professional help if needed.
But with all transition comes adversity, the face of which changes as the Salvation Army grows and the world transforms.
The challenges are many. The Salvation Army is dependent upon public goodwill and donations so that in times of need or recession, as we've been going through, as the numbers increase as far as people in need, sometimes as much as 30% coming to our doors for the first time looking for assistance with food or medicine or rent, utilities and that sort of thing. The donations can sometimes start to go down because those same folk used to be the ones who are our donors, and for the first time they're needing to ask for help. But we have found the public is remarkably generous and has really stepped up to give us support in that area.
One of the biggest challenges that we face is since 9/11 is there's been a lot of changes in government regulations. Disaster response agencies such as ours have to meet certain requirements that are placed on us by the federal government in order to be an active disaster provider. So it's constantly changing environment. We've gone from a hobby type response to a professional talk response. So the folks that you're seeing that are working with us now, a lot of them come out of the professional fire service field or the disaster relief field of another area, and after retirement it gives them something to do. And for us it's a valuable piece of equipment to have a retired fire chief or retired firefighter working on a canteen because they've got that knowledge of what's happening in the disaster and how to handle themselves in a disaster.
The strength of the Salvation Army is the people who give their time and talents to carry forward the mission of the organization.
What I hope people take away from this conference is a renewed passion for the mission of the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army has been around since 1865, and we remain faithful to our mission to preach the good news and to serve humanity in His name without discrimination.
And that includes community supporters, without whom the Salvation Army wouldn't be as effective.
To see our equipment used in this application, and a lot of times for disaster relief purposes, being able to help people that are in need is very satisfactory and to us and to the manufacturers.
The Salvation Army is my charity of choice for a few different reasons. I have family members that met in the Salvation Army back in the 30s. The personal connection is pretty deep, and the Salvation Army literally does the most good with the money. If there was anyone to support, it would definitely be the Salvation Army first.
The hope of this conference was to give members the opportunity to come together, learn from each other, and foster relationships to help them grow as individuals and a team.
One of the greatest blessings of this conference already has been networking. People connecting with others and their strength in our capacity. I think it's important for so many people who labor in the compassion area to realize I'm not in this alone. And I think sometimes when you're a giver, a nurturer, you sometimes think I'm in this alone, but they're not alone. And that's what's so important. They're surrounded by other champions applauding their efforts, and that is a dynamic I think is wonderful.
Internally, we want to take away a sense of the unity between disaster management and social services, and that's a growing process for ourselves. I'm hoping they're going to catch an image, or a vision rather, for what they can do when they go home based upon new knowledge that they've gained here.
Ready for mission, equipped for service. The Salvation Army, doing the most good.